Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be talking about an artist that I think is a lot overrated, and that would be Playboi Carti. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Now that I've already rage baited you by saying Playboi Carti's overrated, it's not rage bait, it's a genuine opinion I have. I will get into the why of why I think that by analyzing him as an artist under four traits that I think make a rapper good or not, and that would be voice, lyrics, production, and flows. So I'll be analyzing him on all of those four pillars, and then you'll be able to see why I think he's overrated. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. And just so you know, I'm not doing this blind. I'm not blindly hating him. I listened through all his albums, and I did the research. Okay, I like to be an educated hater. That's what I'm encouraging. If you're gonna hate something, research it first, then hate it. But without further ado, let's get into it. First, I'm going to talk about lyrics because this is going to be probably the shortest segment because, like trap artists like Future, 21 Savage, and of course Carti, or even like Travis Scott, the lyrics don't matter as much. And in Carti's songs, that's very apparent. The lyrics don't really matter. Like, they're just like words that he is saying to complete a flow. But one thing I will talk about is how Carti gets fixated on a bar. Like, he will repeat a bar like a lot of times, and it's not like it's the hook, but he'll just like find a random bar he likes and just say it over and over and over and over again. Like, not over and over and over again, but two or three times. And it's just something a little thing that he does that's kind of annoying. And also just kind of weird because the bars he decides to get fixated on are just like, they're not like good. They're just like, at best, like an interesting way of saying something. But I don't know, it's just like he decides like, this is kind of cool, I'm going to say it a lot, and it's just, I don't know, that to me is kind of a little bit like a tiny thing that's annoying about his music. But as I said, the lyrics don't matter as much, but they are like just not that good. But that's not like a fatal flaw of the lyrics. They're just like, that's typical trap lyrics. Like, you'll find that with Future, you'll find that with Travis Scott, you'll find that with 21 Savage. I do think Carti's lyrics are a little worse, but I just think that I don't think that's like the main thing that's wrong with it. Alright, next we're going to be talking about his flows, and his flows aren't that good. They aren't that good. What more can I say? It's like, it's like typical, like, I'll say SoundCloud rap. SoundCloud rap flows, and that's kind of doing SoundCloud rap a disservice because there are SoundCloud rappers who genuinely have, like, more complex flows than what Carti's bringing to the table. But Carti seems like he has, like, a lot of, like, very, like, formulaic flows on his songs that just make them not fun to listen to. Like, especially on his self-titled album. Like, he'll be like, it'll just be like, da-na-na-na-na-na, ad-lib, da-na-na-na-na-na, ad-lib. Like, for example, take Magnolia. Like, in New York, I'm really rock, riding in my soul, yeah. Like, da-na-na-na-na-na, like, like, it's just, like, it's very, like, formulaic and boring and just not fun, and I feel like, especially on self-titled, he has the most formulaic flows because that is his most like basic album. And I just feel like it's not doing enough to deviate from like what other trap artists are doing. Like 21 Savage like kind of does like not really a similar formulaic flow style, but he does like the flow then ad-lib thing. And and he's also not doing enough to deviate from other like SoundCloud rappers. Like Lil Pump also does like kind of like the formulaic flows. And it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's, to me, it's just like like I said, very formulaic, very basic, very just like not fun. And it's just, yeah. The album he like deviates the most from this is like Whole Lotta Red, where he starts like, I guess, kind of experimenting with like a little auto tune, but still he doesn't like change up his flows either, because if you look at like Sky, like like that's kind of the whole song right there. It's just, I don't know. That's it. And it's not even that his flows are bad. It's just that they're like basic, and he could do better. Now I'll get to a topic that I have mixed feelings about with my guy, Playboi Carti. Production. It really varies, you know, like production can be his biggest strength or his biggest weakness, because that like is all he's bringing to the table. Like he put all his stat points on this, because Lord knows you're not going into a Carti song for his lyrics or his flows, because as I said before, they're basic. So he's got all his eggs in this basket, like pretty essentially. Like you're here for the beats, essentially, the hard beats. And on his first two albums, the beats kind of suck butt. Like on Self-Titled, the beats are so painfully generic that it made it one of the worst album listening experiences I've ever one of the worst albums I've ever had to sit through. Genuinely, I'm being so serious. Like it wasn't outright bad in the way that like a Lil Mabu album, like the new Lil Mabu album was, but it was like just so like every song sounded the same because the beats were so generic that I was just like, I don't need to hear like 15 more of these. And then on Die Lit, the beats are also trash. Like they're generic in like a similar way to Self-Titled, but when they deviate from that, it often veers more towards annoying than fun to listen to, because the synth lines he adds are often so repetitive that it's just like, why did you end up doing this? Like you could have just made a generic trap song that's fine. Like you didn't have to add this annoying synth line. And yeah, so on Die Lit, they're either generic and I forget about them the moment the song turns off, or they're annoying and the synth line just takes the entire song and chucks it in the trash. One or the other, it's not both. And yeah, it's just, yeah. And then on Whole Lotta Red, the production's his biggest strength. The production's one of the only things holding this album, this absolutely mid garbage album up. Because he actually worked out his synth lines. He got good synth lines. And and the beats on Whole Lotta Red are like genuinely good. And I wish they went to any other artist because they're actually good. So Whole Lotta Red, probably my favorite Carti album, because the beats make it like bearable. And yeah, a lot of the synth work he does is genuinely interesting, and I have to give him mad props for that, because I'm pretty sure that like spawned pretty much like what is like popular in rap right now. And yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like it's kind of like a whole lot of red is like what Yeet's doing, what Uzi's doing now. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Even though I am giving him props for this, the beats on Whole Lot of Red still aren't like amazing. They're not out of this world. They're just like good. They're not like, oh my gosh, like they aren't my favorite beats ever. They're not like freaking, they're not like a JPEG Mafia beat. Like nothing will ever be that except for a JPEG Mafia beat. But they're still good. Like that's kind of it though. So yeah, production can either be his biggest strength or his biggest weakness, and it seems like more often than not, well, like historically it's his biggest weakness, but it seems like going into the future, it's going to be his biggest strength of like because of I guess kind of the overhaul he's put on his sound. Finally is his voice, which is my biggest complaint about this man. His voice sounds absolutely abysmal. And before you write the comment that, oh, he has so many voices, which one do you mean? They all sound bad. It's less so about the timbre of his voice and more so about how he delivers lines, which sounds like he's like squeezing out the words, like he's like holding them back here and then like he's like trying to hold them in and then they just like come out. And it's like, why do you don't need to sound like that. You can say it normally, but you're just not. Like no one's like mind automatically goes to that when you think of how am I going to rap, you know? So it's definitely a stylistic choice that is just like so incredibly abysmal sounding that it's just like ugh. Like it sounds like an almost empty ketchup bottle, if an almost empty ketchup bottle was personified and tried to rap. That is the analogy I use often with Playboi Carti's music, because again it does sound like he is like squeezing out the words, and it's just like, yeah, he's trying to hold them back, but then they're just like popping out. And yeah, I don't know. It's just, yeah. And then I'll get into the timbres of his voice. His high pitched voice especially is so annoying. I find myself often not liking like people who are like artists who have an overly high pitched voice. Like even when Kendrick does it, I don't like love it, but that's Kendrick and he's better. Like I can deal with Kendrick doing a high pitched voice, but when Carti does it with the way he delivers something, it's the most ear grating thing I think I can ever like listen to. His low voice hasn't been that bad, and I've actually kind of liked some of the songs that he does with his low voice. Like I enjoyed his verse on Carnival. I enjoyed his verse on the Metro album. And I didn't mind All Red. Although All Red, I feel like I could have used like another artist. And that's another thing with Carti. I feel like Carti is too generic. Like what he offers to a song is too generic to like for him to like hold up an entire song, much less an album by himself. Like he needs like someone there to be the like meat and cheese of the song, because he himself is like what he's offering to the song is like a pixie stick of material, like with his lyrics, his flows, his voice, and his like everything there is just so like thin and like in terms of substance it's just like minimal, and he needs someone else there propping him up so that he looks good. Like for example, Timeless with The Weeknd. I enjoy that song a lot because The Weeknd is there to like bring him up. But yeah, I just Yeah, his voice is not fun to listen to. So yeah, hopefully that I got across my point there. If you disagree with me, okay, nice. That's great. I don't really care. Um, enjoy what you enjoy, and if you enjoy Playboi Carti, that's great. I'm happy for you. But yeah, if you liked watching this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on those notifications to get notified when I drop. And yeah, I'll be sure to, yeah, I don't know. I don't be sure to record more videos. I don't know. But yeah, comment some video ideas that you want me to do. I've got a few banger ideas that I'm ready to cook up now that I have a new adapter. Um, but yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.